Start streaming. Yeah, because the whole being in the dark thing, a little bit annoying. A little bit annoying. All right, we're back up, and um, so we're back on the live. Your audio's still out.
Of course, my audio is still out. Why wouldn't my audio?
Oh God! Oh God! Oh God! What was that?
Of course, my audio is still out.
Oh, it sounds terrible, my guy. I don't know what happened, but oh, you're resetting. Okay, because yeah, when you came back, it was like fuzzy. Super fuzzy, uber fuzzy. Paste. All right, I'm sending the links out. And you're sending a link out. Okay. I can dig it. Can I hear you? No, I can't. You can't copy, refresh. Do the switcheroony, my guy, because I can't. There you go. No, still can't hear you. No, you broke it. So Tim broke his audio interface, ladies and gentlemen. That's why we can't hear him currently. At least that's what it looks like. So
I mean, that has to be true.
Yo, the craziest thing, you came back for like 2 seconds.
This shit's absurd.
And now you're good. Now there's no buzzing, there's no fuzziness.
Yo, I don't know what the fuck's going on.
Nobody does.
Mike, I feel like my old computer does not like the newer interface. I've been telling y'all that.
It's absolutely possible.
Like, it don't like it. Like,
yeah. But just to finish this up, yeah, it was despicable. Told my mother, like, please don't do that. And she like, well, you don't gotta worry about that. I said, I know. But I feel like I just wanted to make sure I said it.
You felt like it needed to be said.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure I said it. So that I can come on here and say to you guys that I've told my mother. I've already expressed to my mother.
Right.
And I'm saying this to any of you who actually know me. Do not do that.
Yeah.
It will not be true. It will be absolutely
an
categorically false.
Be an absolute lie. And I would like to think that enough people, including my fan base, would know that wouldn't be.
Right.
Nah, P.
That's the thing. So any of y'all who know me personally or have just been around watching the stuff, you should know.
Right.
That's not the case.
No, not at all.
All right, so let's get to the negative surrounding this Chadwick Boseman situation. People. Now, I know that people grieve differently. Because we're individuals. As played out and tired as this statement is nowadays, we are not a monolith. So we are going to handle and react to things differently than each other. So my thing is, everything does not need to be attacked. Your audio, my guy. Everything does not need to be attacked. People are going to grieve how they grieve. Nope, still can't hear you.
You can hear me now.
Oh, okay, my bad. I apologize. Yeah, so everybody is going to grieve differently. I've seen at least 3 different examples of people grief shaming, and it is despicable. So yeah, your audio is absolutely trash. I don't.
It's trash now, or is it just
no?
Good?
Oh no, it was just gone for a brief moment. So yeah, let me read one of these.
Before you do, I feel like it might be important, and hopefully I can get through this without some dumb shit happening. To explain to people what emotional intelligence is and why you not feeling any empathy for it doesn't make you the norm.
Nah,
you're not the norm. All right. So basically, emotional intelligence is the ability to perceive emotions, to access and generate emotions, as to assist thought, to understand emotions, emotional knowledge. And it's like you got, I think it's like 5 tenets: self-awareness, self-regulation, internal motivation. And here's one of the key ones that you guys seem to be missing: empathy.
Empathy.
And then the other one is social skills. But
well,
you know what I'm saying? Some of y'all
we can't expect social creatures to have social skills.
Yeah,
come on. What are you talking about, my guy?
Yo, you not having empathy for the death of this man.
Yeah.
Don't make you part of the norm. It doesn't make you special. You're not a unicorn. That means that you need a little bit of emotional therapy. Maybe.
Or let's not even go extreme. Or
I'm
you just don't care.
Extreme.
I know, I understand.
Or you just don't care
fine.
Because you didn't care about him in the first place. That's cool.
Fine.
But for you to sit there and then come out your fucking pork
what up,
hole.
Fabo?
What's up, Fab? For you to come out of your pork hole to talk shit about other people who do have empathy and feel like you have to interject that bullshit in, you're trash for that. You're complete trash.
And on the flip side of that, there's no reason to try to shame people because they aren't grieving the way you want them to grieve.
Right.
That's absolutely, that is absolutely incorrect. No. Facts. So this one post that I saw, and it should have never been approved, but luckily one of the admins in this group saw the backlash or the post, because there are several admins, so maybe this isn't the one that approved it, but one of them saw it and deleted it. But I got the screenshot before they deleted it, and I talked a little bit of shit because
you should have.
Yeah, but here we go. We need to talk about the role the movie Black Panther played in Chadwick Boseman's death. I'm not interested in inspiration porn. I'm tired of this country valuing money over human life. Marvel making Black Panther into a film was not about culture. It was about making money. Let's keep it 100. Listen to me clearly. Now, mind you, this group is the Black group about for Geeks and Nerds. So clearly we were having conversations about Chadwick because it's obvious why. Oh, he was immediately attacked, as he should have been.
He should have been attacked.
Now, looking back on it, I don't know if an administrative saw it and deleted it, or if he deleted it because he was getting so much flack.
Right.
But I'm like,
some of y'all
ain't it.
Just like the lowest forms of life to me.
Yeah.
Like
how in what way did a movie that he started filming 4 years ago, 3 years ago, after he found out that he was diagnosed, and came out 2 years ago, and he didn't start physically looking like he had issues until like last year.
Yeah.
The end of last year. How did that kill him? Stop it. You're reaching.
And you're reaching. Yo, seriously, I think somebody really needs to do a study on these type of people.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? That like there is something broken in the person that would, one, state the obvious. Of course, movie studios are trying to make money. You think
they're businesses?
Do you think we don't know that shit? Do you think that you just dropped a heavy jewel on everybody?
Oh, of course he does.
And secondly, motherfucker. So you're saying that there is literally nothing that can earn money and be inspirational at the same time?
Right.
Get the fuck out my some of y'all are just
that was my question.
Trash, yo.
I'm like, so the implication being that he was forced to do the movie?
Yeah.
Because nothing else makes sense. Like, there is no other conclusion to be found in the post that you made. Like, I don't understand. Like, he made $2 million off of that movie. Audio. He made $2 million off of that movie.
Yeah.
I don't think you had to force that.
No.
And looking back on it, and hindsight is a beast.
Yeah,
looking back on it, you can think that could be why he did it. If you look at most of his movies, whether you think they're good or not, the fact is the majority of them did not do well in the box office.
No, they didn't.
So if you want to talk about something that increases net worth,
you mean
him to have money?
You mean
for
something
his
that
family?
that would help his family?
Yeah, seeing as though he knows horrible. He has this terminal disease. That makes sense to him for him to do like that. That is the logical thing. If you were in a situation where you're working in your field, you find out you have a terminal disease, and then something comes up to allow you to be able to provide for your family in the event that you don't make it out.
Right.
You would be a fool to not do it if you could.
It would be malpractice on your family to not do it.
As long as you were able to do it. Because somebody else brought up, not in that post, but in a group chat I'm in, the absolute badassery and strength that is required for him to film that movie.
Yeah.
And he didn't say this, but I just thought about it, and do the press junket.
Yeah.
While going through,
mind you,
global. Yes. While going through the disease itself, the chemo, all of the stuff that he would have had to go through while he was like, come on, cut it out, y'all. And the one other thing that I want to talk about that's negative before we get away from the negative, because I want to get all of that out of there. So you talked about how you found out. You were the first person to tell me.
Right.
We were previously talking about this new game that just released their beta, and I was checking it out, and they don't have controller support, so that kind of messes things up. Yeah, so I was trying to figure out a workaround for that, and I got frustrated, and I went back to my go-to, which is working on music.
Right.
So I'm working on music. Tim hits me like, how's it going? Because again, we were talking about the game.
Right.
I'm like, yeah, I quit for now. I got to figure out the mappings and all that other BS. I'm working on music right now, and he hit me with it. I'm like, oh. Like, for real? And then, of course, just like you, I went straight to the Googles.
Gotta go to the Googles.
And then we decided that we were going to do an appreciation episode for today. And I was like, all right, let me finish this bit of music that I'm working on. And I literally sat there for 5 to 10 minutes listening to one piece of it loop over and over and over again, because I could not think of anything to do, because my brain was just, I was taken out of that mode that I was in.
Yeah.
What up, Palm?
What up, Palm?
So yeah, but in my research for the episode that we are doing now, so like I want to say 20 minutes or so after you told me, I go to YouTube and look at my subscriptions, and I see a video about Black Panther,
Right,
from Looper. Now, I've had small issues with Looper every now and then, because of like accuracy things, like but usually it's nothing like outrageous or anything like that. It's just a small tidbit here, a small tidbit there. So whatever. I mostly enjoy their work.
right.
But this time, they put out a Black Panther video.
It was garbage.
And mentioned nothing about Chadwick passing. That is why when I posted on Facebook, I did not include anything close to actual advertising, because that's sick to me.
It is.
That is ridiculous. So what that means is you're worried about capitalizing off this right now.
Right.
More than anything. You couldn't. I understand that the video was created already. I get that. I know how the whole, for all those that don't know how the content creating thing works, you create things in batches sometimes to be released later. There is no way in the world, just based on how YouTube works and what I know about having been a part of YouTube for the last 4 or so years, there's no way in the world they scheduled that video to be released at like 11:40 on a random Friday night.
Not at all.
No, they saw that it was trending, so they put it up. So yes, the video was recorded already, but you couldn't add some text.
Yo, I was just sitting there thinking,
you couldn't do a quick voice.
How long does it take, for them to throw that? First of all, before you even upload it, for you to throw it back into the software, either puts a text, rest in peace, or just do a quick audio.
That's it. And it didn't have there was literally, I get why they would think this, but the amount of revenue that you would have missed by waiting until this morning to post it probably is non-existent. And if it is existence, it's minuscule. So it's like, that really rubbed me the wrong way. You are silent. Silencio.
That can't be true.
Well, no, you're right. You are always you're always running your banana receptacle.
Shut up.
Oh, okay, my bad. Palm said that's cheap. Exactly. Like, what are we doing? Why is this? Why are y'all people?
Well, no, I'm gonna tell you what one of the reasons.
Audio. It's like I can hear it when it happens.
No, I think it's because this content creating culture breeds vultures.
Oh yeah.
It like, and sometimes, to be fair, they're not even aware, because they get caught up in this cycle of trending, must upload, trending, must upload, trending, must upload.
Now I'm curious. I gotta see these comments. Looper. Yeah, I gotta see these comments, because, and now I have to actually search. I have to actually search for them because I unsubscribed. But
damn, that was serious.
I mean, listen. Videos. They deleted it.
They deleted the video.
Okay. All right. That makes me feel a little bit better.
Now let me guess what I think happened. I think
the comments might have.
Yeah, they must. They must have got smoked out there.
Yeah, it's gone. Last video they posted, that's still up here. It's 14 hours ago.
Yeah, that was a really bad decision.
It was
by
horrible.
that channel, like you don't even make any comments on that man's passing, really?
None. I watched it, and I was like, I don't know. I was kind of in the mood. Like I did the self. I don't know. It's not even self-deprecating. I did the toxic thing of scrolling down Facebook, knowing that I would see a bunch of people.
Yeah,
I did that to myself, but when I saw the video, I was like, okay, this might be a little different. This might be paying homage to him a little bit. I can use this. Like this works for me. This will help.
Right.
And I watched the video and I'm like, it gets to the end and they're like, subscribe to Looper for about.
I'd have been extra. I'm
like, what are we doing? What are we doing here? So, like I said, I feel a little bit better that it's gone.
Yeah.
That means that they weren't at least pig-headed about it.
Right. It also means
I have no proof that the comments went. I have no proof that happened.
We don't.
So somebody could have just recognized what the hell that they did and took it down.
Yeah.
So that's possible. So
I don't, man. Like again, this culture, it's like the whole content creating thing has gotten to the point where people have taken the human element out of it a lot of the times.
Yeah.
And it's like they're on an assembly line where they create the video, upload the video, create the video, upload the video.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's lost a lot of the human element to it, because the last thing I thought about doing was going to any of my other my brand stuff, like my Reaper Legion page or that doesn't mean I ain't even want to go there with that. I went on my personal page and gave him, you know, the rest in peace thing, because I was and still am legitimately hurt about that shit. I feel like all the wind got knocked out of me yesterday hearing that shit. Yeah.
And like I said, that's why I didn't go on that post talking about BCG. Check us out live.
BCG, we always
like come on, it's tasteless.
It is.
It's tasteless. The people that know what we do on Saturday mornings, they understood. The people that didn't, hey, I mean, if you want to talk about it in the inbox, we can talk about it.
Right.
But yeah, because
for those of you that might be new to the stream, we are the replacement of the Saturday morning cartoon for you guys now.
Okay. All right. Fine. No. They're kind of kid friendly, my guy. Your audio went out. You got to get that fixed, my guy.
We have upscale. How? Right. I'll tell you what.
That doesn't change the fact.
Let's make a deal.
Okay.
Need you to fix systemic racism.
All right. Bet.
And I'll fix this.
Bet. Got
right?
you.
Let's get that done.
Got you.
Let's get that
Got
done.
you. We on it.
But we're the replacement. We ain't say we was all that kid friendly.
No, that's the issue that I'm having with that statement. Like,
hey man, Saturday morning, we are the replacement. That's all I'm saying.
The replacements.
Yeah, and look, for most of the people that at one time was alive to experience Saturday morning cartoons, they grown now, so we can't go back to that.
We can't go back to that. That's not how that works. But okay, all right, fine. I'll let you have that. No, it's absolutely what I'm mad at, though. But I'm gonna let you have it. So let's get into this appreciation.
Let's indeed.
Let me open up this document because
I ain't get no damn doc.
It's the same.
I understand.
No, don't do that.
What you had a lot.
It's a link in the same. No, it's a link at the top of the document that I already sent you.
I don't see it. Man.
You tripping? And you have an echo for some reason.
What?
All right.
What?
Okay.
That's not. Oh, sorry.
Bet. Don't worry. All right. So let me.
Yeah, I got it now.
I know you got it now.
It's the echo. Nigga, I got it now.
All right. Whatever.
I said.
Man. No, I heard you. All right, so speaking of the $2 million that he made from Black Panther, his net worth was $12 million. So his family gonna be good. Then hopefully on top of that, you know, he had the insurance and all that other good stuff, especially knowing that this was coming. So luckily, this isn't a situation where like a hero to the community wasn't like well off,
right?
And you know they had family that they leaving behind and need to do a fundraiser for them or no shit like that. So luckily, it wasn't that type of situation. So most of you know Chadwick as Prince and King T'Challa, the Black Panther. However, I was introduced to Chadwick Boseman through a little show called Lincoln Heights. I think it came out, I want to say it started at the end of 2007 into 2008 and through 2009. There were like 4 seasons or something like that. Really good show. It was about Black issues and a Black family surviving in a neighborhood, a bad neighborhood. The father was a cop. Chadwick played somebody named Nate. He was the son of the cop, but not the son of his wife. It was a very interesting show. I'm really upset. I was really upset when they canceled it. Actually, it's Chris, if you're still here, that show is going on the list for the review show. Absolutely. After this is, like I said, I've always loved the show anyway, but now it'll give me another reason to rewatch it and check out my man Chadwick again. So yeah, that was 2008. Another thing in 2008 that he did was The Express, the Ernie Davis story. Now, he was not the lead in this movie, but you're going to hear this a lot through this episode. This is a movie about a Black experience, about someone who was the first African American to do something.
Right.
So you're going to hear that again throughout the show. You're going to hear it again. It was a movie about the first African American to win a Heisman Trophy, and like I said, he did not play the role, the main role in this movie, but he was nonetheless in the movie. According to what I see of his filmography, that is his big screen debut. Not sure what it did in the theaters, but as I said earlier, a lot of Chadwick's movies didn't necessarily do great in the box office, and there are several reasons that may be behind those that we'll get into when we talk about some of these movies.
Right.
So in 2012, I believe, was his first starring role in a feature film. The movie called The Kill Hole. It was an action sci-fi movie, I believe. Let me double check because I did the research on this particular movie last night, and it's a little bit an action thriller. No, not sci-fi. Action thriller war film.
Right.
And he was the star, and it wasn't very well received. It wasn't. It just wasn't.
Yeah.
It wasn't. I don't even see a box office number for it. But it is what it is. I mean, you know, you win some, you lose some, but you live. You live to fight another.
Yo, you are the asses. Plus,
I mean, listen, 2020 has been so terrible to us.
Look,
I had to reference the great John Witherspoon. I mean,
that's true, but I look, the thing about the movie's not doing well. If you look at I listened to some of our early episodes where we did, these in-depth meta
Appreciation.
reviews and appreciations
Yeah.
on various different actors and actresses that
Mm-hmm.
that people pretty much give a whole bunch of respect to now. If you look at a
Yeah.
lot of their older material,
Oh,
it wasn't.
the money
Yeah.
wasn't there.
Yeah,
It just wasn't. Like a lot of them that we covered ended up having like networks for like 2 million, 3 million.
and of course the expectation that we would have because of how much respect we have for these actors and actresses, especially in the black community, right?
Mm-hmm.
With these black actors and actresses, we a lot of them were like royalty. Some of the people we talked about were like royalty in our community, and so for us to find out that they didn't really make a lot of money, or the movies they were in, it was a little disheartening. But it also woke us up to the idea that, yo, it's two different Americas out there when it comes to entertainment for real.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like we look at certain shit and certain content creators and actors a certain way that people outside our community don't.
Yeah, things are absolutely getting better, but
yeah, absolutely.
It's still a ways to go.
Mm-hmm.
So like I said, that was 2012. He came back to the big screen in 2013 with the movie 42.
Right.
Now, like I said, this movie is about the first African American to integrate Major League Baseball.
Yeah.
So far, 3 movies in, he's been in movies about the first African American to.
Right.
2 of them out of the 3 movies that he's been in so far, thus far.
Right.
Everybody knows the story of Jackie Robinson. And actually, this was his first real success at the box office. The budget for the movie was about $40 million, and it made a cool $97.5 million.
It's not bad.
And back then, it's really not bad. Especially since it wasn't like a big budget blockbuster type film.
Special effects laden.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just came out in the spring, before the spring blockbuster was really a thing,
right?
Like a heavy thing. I think what else there was something else that came out around the same time.
Hush Boy.
Was T'Challa just howling?
Yeah, he wants to go back outside.
No, he's upset about Chadwick.
Yeah, that could be it too. I haven't had that conversation with him yet this morning, but you feeling away over there.
I mean, I'm saying T'Challa. But anyway, a gross of 97.5 million was nothing to sneeze at, especially for that type of movie. Your audio again, my guy.
How about now? Better?
Yep, great. It made 27.3 million in opening weekend, which is the best ever day. At the time, I don't know. I don't really like baseball at all, so I'm not really checking for any baseball.
You know what movies. I think though? I think the reason why it made so much money is because, well, in contrast to how much they spent to make it, is because there's still a baseball loving community.
Oh yeah.
You know, and that story I think that story kind of resonates with baseball fans,
absolutely,
of all stripes. So
and probably particularly black baseball fans, because baseball is not really a quote unquote black sport.
Yeah, you would.
So I can imagine them be like, oh, I can better relate to this because he looked like me. Representation.
Hey yo, Napalm's ass, yo. His nickname should be Chosen One.
I mean, listen. It's only right. So that was 2013. 2014.
2014.
He was in Draft Day,
which I did not see.
Which is I believe Kevin Costner.
Yep.
I did not watch it either.
I did not see that.
I had absolutely no desire. I think it was based on the Cleveland Browns or something like that. And I'm a Ravens fan, so the Browns. I'm not watching anything about the Browns. But anyway, he was in that movie. He was also, though, in a little movie titled Get On Up.
And that, sir, is when I first saw him. I saw him in that, and it kind of backwards because I saw him in the 2014 Get On Up one, and then after that,
Then
I
you
saw
watch 42.
Right.
Where he played the great James Brown, and absolutely destroyed it.
He killed
it.
He killed it.
Oh, it was the best. And you know, he wasn't by himself. He played against Dan Aykroyd.
Yeah,
he played against Viola.
Yeah. Some serious heavyweights right there.
Yeah, and he handled his business in that one.
Right.
Unfortunately, this was another one where the box office wasn't great. $30 million budget, $30.6 million box office. So, you hate to see it. Again, I kind of think, I don't know. I think this is this a race thing?
I don't know. It's so hard to tell.
Yeah, like
with these sort of movies, because if we're to be honest, a lot of the roles that he chose were in genres
very niche.
That were niche. It's not like they were really setting the world on fire. Like when you do a biopic about somebody, it largely depends on the person. It depends on how controversial they may have been when they were alive. It's a lot of stuff that goes with that. So like Jackie Robinson, we sure when he was alive there was controversy. Absolutely.
Oh, without
absolutely, there was controversy. But it's not the same as like, all right, take for instance, Denzel Washington doing Malcolm X.
Right.
The Malcolm X as a person, you know, extremely influential, controversial. It's a lot of stuff in there, and I think it kind of depends on that. And you know, also even back then, Denzel had name recognition, right? So, there's a lot of things to go into it. Race may be a factor, but if it is, I think it's like one out of many that would have been the thing. Because I don't believe a Babe Ruth movie would have made a lot of money. To be honest, I don't.
Interesting.
I don't believe it.
Interesting.
It certainly wouldn't have been in the category of what we call blockbusters today.
That's true.
You
know. So thus far, we are at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 movies, right?
Yeah.
2 of them, the first African American to blah 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 blah.
Right.
Draft Day, he played somebody that was relatively important in the venue that we're talking about. He was some football player. I can't remember exactly who. And then Get On Up, the Godfather of Soul.
Right.
So this track record, even though the box office isn't out of this world, his performances as these characters,
people liked them. People liked them in the role.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
So we move on to a little bit of controversy.
Gods
of Egypt.
He played Thoth. I think it was Thoth.
Yes.
Or was it Tahuti? Whatever. Again, this movie was controversial because
absolutely
this thing that bothers me a lot of times, because people will pick and choose what they have an issue with. So they completely used a bunch of Europeans to play most of the gods of Egypt.
Yeah.
Let a black director come out and make a movie of the gods of Egypt, make them all black. The first thing we would be hearing is all this shit about historical accuracy and blah, 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 this, that, and the third.
Yeah.
He was the only black god in the Gods of Egypt film.
So there's background on that. All right. So white actors make up most of the principal cast of Gods of Egypt. When Lionsgate began marketing the film, the Associated Press said the distributor received backlash for ethnically inaccurate casting. Lionsgate and director Alex Proyas both issued apologies. The AP said while some praised the preemptive mea culpa, others were more skeptical, concluding that it simply meant to shut down any further backlash. Skipping down. So, in response to the criticisms of its casting practice, the director then went back after the apologies for not considering diversity. Lionsgate said it would strive to do better. Mendelsohn of Forbes said the apologies were a somewhat different response than defenses made by Ridley Scott, that piece of crap, for Exodus.
Yeah.
And so let me read what Ridley Scott said to explain why I called him a piece of crap. Where is it? The implication remains. Where is it? I just saw it. Ridley Scott received similar backlash for having a white cast. Where is it? Because he said something really dumb.
He broke it.
Shoosh. All right, so I believe it's in this paragraph. No, it's not in this paragraph. Where is it? Anyway, I'll get back to it. So they were saying of the response from Lionsgate, this kind of apology never happens. For something that happens all the time, an unusual occurrence worth noting. The Guardian said the apologies are remarkable, especially given that Gods of Egypt does not debut in cinemas until the 26th of February and could now suffer at the box office simply because they acknowledged that it was an issue.
Right.
That is all great until the
I have the Ridley Scott quote. I can't mount a film of this budget where I have to rely on tax rebates in Spain and say that my lead actor is Mohammed so-and-so from such and such. Yeah. I'm just not going to get it financed. So the question doesn't even come up. Interesting.
Yeah. That was even more true, but anyway.
Yeah.
So the San Francisco Chronicle said that's little comfort to the non-white actors who were denied opportunities, or the Egyptians who will see a pale shadow of their ancestral traditions.
Literally, that's a bar, by the way.
Facts. So, the chair for the study of race and pop culture at the University of Southern California said, the apology is an attempt to have it both ways. They want the cast that they selected, and they don't want people to hold it against them that it's a white cast.
Right.
So what Chadwick did was he said, I'm thankful that he said that he expected the backlash to happen when he saw the script. And he said he's thankful that it did because actually he agrees with it. That's why he wanted to do the movie, so you would see someone of African descent playing Thoth, the father of mathematics, astronomy, and the god of wisdom.
Right.
Now, one of the white actors, whose name I can't pronounce, but screw him, says, a lot of people are getting really worked up online about the fact that I'm a white actor. I'm not even playing an Egyptian. If he would have stopped there, I'm like, all right, fine. But he continued. I'm an 8-foot tall god who turns into a falcon. A part of me just wants to freak out. But then I think there's nothing you can do about it. You can't win in that sort of discussion.
You know, here's the thing. I would have given him the benefit of the doubt at first because my view on a lot of that stuff is gods can be humanoid because then you can see where they got the inspiration to create humans from, but we shouldn't necessarily always I always think of them as ethereal beings, so they can be pretty much anything they want to be.
Absolutely.
At any time. That's at least how I view the whole concept of mythological gods. People, their power personified. They can be whatever it is. If he'd have stayed there, I probably would have given the benefit of the doubt. But then he had to go the extra length to try to play victim and shit. And You're not a victim, sir. You're a
Mm-mm.
guy who has been benefiting from his ethnic background to get roles at times you don't even know that's what's happening. So you're not a victim.
No, not at all.
You are a dick though. Like,
oh yeah,
you're definitely that.
absolutely. So yeah, that's so. Let's recap again.
Mm-hmm.
2 movies, first African American, 2 such and such. Godfather, so relatively important character in Draft Day, and the only black person to appear in a movie based in Egypt,
which is part of Africa. Yeah, just gonna
absolutely
put that out. Just gonna
part
put
of
that
Africa.
out there.
As much as people like to argue about that,
yeah, well,
it's actually
geography.
It doesn't,
geography.
Yeah, it doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't really matter
Yeah.
how you feel about that particular thing. All right, so next, on this list, and I excluded Black Panther because I know we're going to talk about it.
Yeah,
but I have no reason to have that in this particular section,
right?
Because we're talking about lesser known
films, right?
Yeah, Message from the King, 2016, action thriller film, and Chadwick was the star. And it had a terrible box office, but it went to Netflix. So I'm not sure if the idea was for it to have a big opening,
right?
Or I mean a big theatrical release or not. Because like I said, it went to Netflix. I don't know if it was always going to go to Netflix and it just had a limited theatrical release, or if it had a bad theatrical release and Netflix swooped in and bought the rights. I don't know which one happened.
Right.
But this box office is abysmal. Like
10 million.
The budget was 10 million. The box office was 268,000.
Jeez, that's terrible. That is horrible.
So I'm going to go ahead and say that I'm leaning toward it. Oh, okay. Message from the King premiered on September 8th, 2016 at the 2016 Toronto International Film Festival. Netflix released the film on August 4th, 2017. So since that happened so close, that kind of makes me believe that it was always set to have a limited release in theaters.
Right.
So that makes me feel a little bit better about it.
Well, also, as I look at the plot, I don't know how many people are going to go see that.
Oh yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
A Cape Town general going on a rampage. Like, it's
I don't know.
It's a bit abstract. I would
say.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so much of actors' success is wrapped up in the type of roles and the type of like you can have an absolutely dope role in a not so dope movie. You know what I'm saying? Like it's layers to that shit. And
absolutely.
Anything that's fairly marketable, you have a reasonable expectation of making some money off of it. At the very least, making back the
audio. Basically, there's money to be made, and it may be made.
Yeah, I don't even know how you market something like that.
No, I have no idea.
So
it sounds like something that particular director just wanted to make.
Yep.
So I mean,
Chad might have wanted to check.
Yeah. Or he might have believed in the project.
Or he might have believed in the project itself, not necessarily based off its marketability.
Right. We got to remember that even though the guy who made that dumbass post earlier thinks that everything is solely motivated by money,
right?
That's not how everything works.
Nah. That's how most things work, not everything.
Yes, most things. And the last on this list, this particular list, not the last film that he's done,
right?
But the last on this particular list is Marshall
Mathers,
which again, shut up. He is in a movie about the first African American to do XYZ. And in this case,
I
it
like
is the
this movie
first
too.
African American elected to the Supreme Court.
Right.
Um, so yes, he plays the titular character, Thurgood Marshall, and another one that did not do well at the box office.
No, it didn't. But he did manage to be in the movie with his future uncle in the movie, Sterling K. Brown.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know what I'm saying? But it didn't do well. But I actually, I kind of liked the movie. I watched.
Yeah, I mean,
I didn't see it in the movie theaters though. See, that's the thing. I wound up watching it some other way. So when I watched it, venue. We talked about this on the show before. Venue matters.
Absolutely.
Venue matters. I don't know how much I would have liked it if I'd have went to the movie to see it, but I saw it, on demand or something, and my wife was watching it, as a matter of fact. I started watching it, and it was all right. So I liked it.
Yeah. I mean, and this is another movie where he was not by himself. Josh Gad, Kate Hudson, Sterling K. Brown. Like he's playing against some pretty talented people.
Right.
And this has kind of been a consistent thing throughout the majority of his career. And he finds a way to stand out. Like
Napalm is like, it was pretty violent. I enjoyed it. Yeah, we know.
I gotta check that one out. I haven't seen it.
Absolute savage.
Oh,
we
goodness.
know.
Oh goodness. Yeah, I gotta go back and check that one out. It's at Cape Town General goes berserk. That sounds. I ain't gonna hold you. Listen, sounds pretty good to me.
It's the backdrop, yo. I think the backdrop. Seriously, yo, the backdrop. I think the backdrop killed it in the box office. People don't think about Napalm just suggested that I pay attention to any entrepreneurial opportunities.
Okay, sure. Let's go with that. Yeah. Let's go with that. But yeah, so I understand that most people will know him as the Black Panther, which actually reminds me of something else that I saw. Someone complaining.
But that tracks though.
I was about to say, biggest someone complaining about people talking about R.I.P. Black Panther and throwing up Wakanda Forever and all that other stuff.
Oh, I got a take for that.
This is how, and see, in most scenarios, when I talk about something I've seen on social media or whatever the case may be, I've had a discussion with the person about it, so I speak freely.
Yeah.
I have not had a discussion with this person about it, so I'm not going to speak freely.
I feel you.
Against that particular person.
I feel you.
But I will speak freely in responding to why that may be the case.
To the idea, right?
Yeah. So this is why that may be the case. Let's say.
What are we saying?
That there is an artist. An amazing artist, musical genius, who for years upon years upon years has been putting out masterpiece level work.
Right.
And then, even though we already knew he was a pedophile, people get serious about him being a pedophile.
Right.
And he goes to jail. There are going to be people who decide that they riding with him.
Oh, we've seen it.
Let's go more personal, because let's go more personal, more close. So you don't have to like stretch to grab this concept. Your uncle, not you particularly, not anybody's specific uncle, but your uncle.
You hate to see it.
Grew up in a particular bad spot of wherever you guys grew up, and he had to do what he had to do things. Things happen, but he's your uncle, so you don't really have that knowledge of him. You may have heard a thing or two here and there,
Yeah,
but to you, that's your uncle.
absolutely.
To the people he killed, or their families, or the people he's robbed, or
Right.
anything like that, they're going to have a very different thought of him than you do.
Right.
This is what you know him for. So that's what you're going to refer to him as.
Right.
So again, that leads me to, we as human beings, not everybody, again, we're not a monolith, but in general, we as human beings respond to things as they appear to us, as we know them.
Right.
Our reality of
Our
what the situation is.
Our
that is what we do.
Right.
So, given the fact, what up, Mike?
What's up, Mike?
Given the fact that none of us know this person.
Yeah.
None of us.
Yeah.
None of us know him personally.
Facts.
What do the majority of people know him for? What is the thing that he was in that grossed billions of dollars?
Facts.
It is the MCU. And what was he in the MCU? Black Panther. And what did that do as far as representation is concerned, as far as a bunch of other things are concerned? That movie, what did that movie do?
Yeah.
So to complain about people referring to him in death as Black Panther is, you're missing something.
Yeah. So I find this a lot of times to be one of the most irritating of things, because shit is always different for us.
Mm-hmm.
So when Christopher Reeve died,
that's funny. I was going to bring that up.
He had done a lot of stuff.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? After that Superman thing.
Superman died.
Superman died, right?
Heath Ledger
did other things, and some of the things he did was actually kind of big.
Mm-hmm.
But he's known as the Joker. But for us, shit is always different. It's always a different energy when it comes to us. Now, I'm gonna say this. Speaking as somebody that's a comic book geek, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whatever I saw Chadwick in first did not have the same level of impact on me as his portrayal of Black Panther, because comic books and comic book characters and universes and realities are a big part of my life.
Factual.
My everyday life.
Factual.
And the fact that he did very well in the role, the fact that movie had the impact that it had for all the reasons you alluded to earlier, representation, and the fact of what it showed, that you could get a majority Black cast to make a lot of money in Hollywood. It's
hold traction. Majority Black cast, majority Black support,
absolutely,
majority Black crew,
absolutely,
Black producers, all that.
Like the fact that all of this is attached to his name, his physical image, and all of that. For someone to not understand or to think that it's somehow insulting to this man, can you imagine what would have happened if that movie flopped?
Right.
His name would have been attached to that.
Oh, absolutely.
So, no, what we're not going to do is act like his biggest work is somehow bar none,
not even close.
You just went through the movies.
The only other thing that did marginally well was 42, which didn't even gross 100 million.
100 million. So what we're not going to do is act like somehow that's a slight to him, the man, because that's part of his legacy, and arguably, other than his kids, the biggest part of his professional legacy.
Absolutely. Oh, and just to comment on something you said about, regardless of which you saw him in first, the Black Panther had the biggest impact.
Yeah.
I don't even share that sentiment. I saw him in Lincoln Heights first, and that is what I know. That's Chadwick Boseman to me. But guess what? I still understand why everybody is referring to him as Black Panther, because That's he was Black Panther.
He was Black Panther. Dog, let me tell you. Can I? Dog, it was certain things that Chadwick could do without even saying anything. Like the scene in Civil War when he went up against Winter Soldier when Winter Soldier was trying to escape.
Yeah,
and he jumps off the ledge, lands on the other end, and then stands up with this look like, now, motherfucker,
that.
like,
what you want to do now?
Yo,
you gonna turn around? You gonna go that way?
When I was in the movie theaters, I was so goddamn hyped at just that little scene, right? Like, listen, no, you're not gonna take that from him.
From that to the scene where he's is chasing the motorcycle on foot.
Oh my, come on, man.
And dives and swipes at the rear tire.
What about when he
Come
says,
on.
What about when he says,
I don't care.
Captain, let me ask you, as king in both warrior, what do you think you could do to protect your friend from me?
Facts.
Listen,
facts.
Can I read a comment that Hendrick said?
Absolutely.
And by the way, thanks for showing up, Hendrick. That's my man. His band is dope. His band is dope. Even the announcement of his death, released by his publicist and family, says being Black Panther was his highest honor.
That's all. Like, come on, cut it out. Cut it out. We don't need. We talk about this often recently. There are enough injustices.
Yeah.
That go on that we don't need to make shit up.
Facts.
We do not need to make shit up. He died because of something that he was dealing with for 4 years. Let's talk through this. I already alluded to the fact that he was able to get his biggest payday to date after being now, I don't know when he got the money. He might have actually got the money before he found out. But my point is he played the role after he found out. So biggest payday to date. Let me see what else. He got his privacy.
Yeah.
Nobody knew that he had cancer.
Right.
There was a situation with him losing weight and everybody noticing it, where some people were making fun, but some people were absolutely concerned.
Exactly.
Some people were absolutely concerned.
Those of you that were making fun, man, fuck. But go ahead.
Yeah.
But go
like
ahead.
I looked back in the preparation for the
most people were concerned, yo.
I looked back and most of the headlines said Black Panther fans concerned about Chadwick Boseman.
Yeah.
Or some of that. Like, of course there were people joking. We know that there were people joking. But
people
again,
are assholes.
Yeah, absolutely. But that's not to say that there weren't people that were concerned, because there were a bunch of people that were concerned. So he got his privacy, he got his money, he got to do this thing. You know how we talk about, particularly when we were heavy doing the appreciation episodes, we're talking about giving people their flowers while they can still smell them.
While they can still smell them, right.
So, no, we did not do an appreciation episode on Chadwick before this, right? But I would argue that third on this point of positive points about the situation, he got his flowers.
Yes, he did.
To the point where he was sick of doing the Wakanda forever.
Yo,
come
facts.
on.
Facts. He got his flowers.
He got his flowers.
Yeah, he did. He definitely did.
So he got his money up. He got to do this thing that he wanted to do. He got his flowers.
Yeah.
He got his privacy.
He got to help people. He helped a lot of people.
He became, so again, hindsight, going to check on them cancer patients.
Yeah.
That was after he knew.
Right.
So come on.
Right.
There's no reason for us to inject negativity. Oh, y'all called him Black Panther like he wasn't a whole person.
Nigga, nobody said that. See,
nobody is making the argument that he wasn't a human being.
Are you looking for a reason to be salty?
I don't know. I don't know.
I gotta also bring up something that from C. Geekz. He posted this on his Facebook today.
Word.
And I think it's important. Like, I needed to see that. I needed to see that. He says, guys, this sucks. But once we heal, let's remember what Chadwick taught us. This man had stage 4 cancer and was filming classic movies at a high level of quality.
Mhm.
If that's not inspiration during this fucking crisis, I don't know what is. We got this, Chad. Thank you. Your death was not in vain, my bro. We will make it
Facts.
through. Yo, I think when it comes to inspirational people that may have passed on, people that we may have looked up to, enjoyed their content or whatever, I think it is important and part of the healing process to kind of summarize some things that you actually got from that person,
Oh yeah,
while they were still
absolutely.
here, their example or whatever.
1000%.
And there's a lot of things you could take from Chadwick, but that is definitely one of the ones that was relevant to me, because what I was trying to do, similar to what you was about to do, was something creative.
Yeah.
And I couldn't even dive into it. I was too distracted when I found out that this happened to him. You know what I'm saying? So
Absolutely.
like that kind of put me back in the frame of mind I needed to be. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely. Shout out to Geekz for that post. And anybody who knows who Geekz is. We actually have some music coming out this month. So yeah.
Yes.
Pay attention to that. It's coming. But anyways, yeah, like I just don't, like I said, there are enough injustices. There are enough bad things.
Right.
We do not have to make up stuff.
Right.
Like we don't have to make too much out of like,
like there's no reason you shouldn't feel put upon to victimize his legacy. You know what I'm saying? To make it out to be, oh, y'all disrespecting him. Nobody's just
audio. We want a nice little run, but your audio went out. Like it was a nice little amount of time before it actually happened again. So like
I'm back. I should be back.
Okay.
Now, right?
Yeah, you are.
The people out here that would be disrespecting him in a way that would get their fucking face smacked if they did that shit in person in front of me. They were doing that before he died.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It was on that before he died. So I'm sick of some of you motherfuckers that's running around here masquerading as truth tellers.
Bruh.
Stop it.
Here's the thing. And here's the thing. We've been talking about this recently. There are some truths that are kind of unnecessary.
Irrelevant.
Yeah, completely irrelevant to what the context of what's going on is. Like, yes, he was a human being. We know, we're aware of that.
Yes, he wasn't actually the king of Wakanda.
Right.
Yo, the fact that you thought you needed to say that, kind of has me looking at you kind of crazy.
I mean, listen,
you know what I'm saying? Like,
I don't know. Like I said, I don't.
You're not a truth teller because,
and I didn't read the whole conversation.
Irrelevant truth.
Yeah, I didn't read the whole conversation, so I don't know the full context of the conversation. Yeah. But I cannot imagine any situation. Like I said, I haven't talked to this person about it yet. Right. So, that part.
I'm a truth teller. I see beyond what y'all see.
It's like, all right, sure, but
what makes you think the people feeling this way didn't know that?
Yeah. We right. Like we're not like you. All right. Let me put it like this: you're right, but we're not wrong.
Right, and neither are the other people that are.
Now, mind you, I didn't do it because again, actually no. There's no reason why I didn't do it.
Right.
I just didn't do it. Like,
right.
It just didn't happen. But that doesn't mean that I feel like it's crazy for people to do it. No, it's you go off of what you know, how you know a person to be.
Exactly. And I'm gonna say this: any of you out there that feel the need to refer to that man as the one thing you know him for the most, it's okay.
Just do it. Yeah,
it's okay.
Because on top of the fact that the family have referred to him in this way. On top of that fact, the likelihood, this might seem a little insensitive, but the likelihood of his family actually seeing your particular post,
facts.
Come on,
facts.
Let's.
You not defending them, my G. Stop.
Yeah,
you not defending them.
So it's like
You're not defending that.
What are we doing? Like, it's not necessary. It's
not. And
let people grieve how they grieve.
Let people, give people what we literally just found out about this. And first
hours. It was hours into finding out. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, give people a chance to metabolize this shit.
Mm-hmm.
Because for some of us, what he represented was even like people will look at the fact that it was a comic book based movie and not realize that there are those of us when we was growing up that was our only window into a different world.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? Because some of us, I can't speak for that person, but some of us grew up in the hood where they were burying dead bodies in the woods right down the street from his house. Some of us grew up near an alley where there was hypodermic needles all in that shit. Motherfuckers getting shot. Police coming through there like an occupying army. Some of us grew up around shit that made it seem like it was nothing else outside of this, of any, like this is the only thing that it is. And these stories, and it don't necessarily have to be comic books, but in this case, comic books, these stories opened up a window of possibilities, no matter how fantastic they were. You know what I'm saying? And it was a way to kind of get a little bit of a distraction from the dumb shit. You know what I'm saying? So what he represented for those of us, and by the way, it's not just him. Robert Downey Jr. You name any one of these the other actors that played the roles of these comic book characters. What I would like for people to know, just on a wider viewpoint of it, perspective of it, is that to see these people bring the characters we grew up reading, loving, and being inspired from to life, puts them in a certain place for us.
Absolutely.
So if something happens to one of them,
the same way you feel about your favorite artist,
exactly.
Same way you feel about your favorite sports player, the same way you feel about your favorite whatever.
Right.
That's how that goes.
Right.
We are all humans at the end of the day, and there are some ridiculous, relatively from the outside looking in, meaningless things that we latch onto.
That's right.
Because they may be good for our mental health.
Right. Or we reference it differently than you reference it.
Right.
Know? Like, so yeah, when Chadwick died, Black Panther died to me.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And that means something from a kid that grew up reading that shit. So like, miss me with all of that smug.
It's weird to me.
Weird,
man.
Yo. It's a weird flex, man. It's a weird flex.
Like
it's a complete lack of empathy. You know what I'm saying?
Let us have things.
Yeah. People can have things, right?
It's not an affront to anybody. It's not like somebody's like, all right, R.I.P. Black Panther, and then somebody comes along like, well, you know, he was a human too.
Oh,
and somebody and they're like, no, fuck that, he Black Panther. No.
Or somebody was like, he is?
Right.
I didn't even think he was real.
Come on.
All right. Oh, okay.
Like that's not what's happening.
Napalm says in the chat, yesterday was Jack Kirby's birthday.
Wow.
Yo, listen.
And yesterday was Jackie Robinson Day.
Right. Listen. Look, it's layers to this.
Yeah.
It's layers to this. And this is the other thing too. Because this is the importance of the arts, right? The ability to make people feel a certain type of way.
Right.
It's not something that
your audio has depleted. Back in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
What I'm saying is, I'm back, right?
That was perfect. That was
just saying.
But go off.
Yeah, go off. like the ability to make people feel a certain type of way and take a completely fictional story and do it with that, right? Make it relatable, right? Yeah. Like it's an art to that shit. And it brings people closer together because, a classic example, when Stan Lee died, I felt a lot closer with a lot of people at that time. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Because
absolutely.
we all had the
We
nubs,
commiserated over
oh,
a particular thing. Yeah.
When Fife
If
Dog,
there's a certain vulnerability.
it's a certain when Fife Dog died.
Yeah.
There was a certain, like,
Absolutely.
you feel me? So
there were certain people that I hadn't really had discussions with in a while.
Right.
That I was now having discussions with again.
Right.
Because of this common thing.
How was that bad? How was that bad? How was that bad?
I don't know. I don't get and this the reason, so to be clear, the reason that I haven't had a conversation with this person about it is because I didn't want to engage.
Yeah.
Because
you know what? You're grieving too, though. So
yeah.
That's everything. Like, no, I'm not talking.
I didn't want to engage
because I don't about that shit.
This is in no way from my perspective. This is in no way, shape, or form an attack on that person.
Nope.
This is me legitimately being like, why? It's I don't understand why you're coming with this particular stance. Like,
I don't get it. Did you think people really thought he was Black Panther? Like
you don't have to make this up. Like,
you don't have to make this argument at all. You really
this is not. It's not an affront to anything.
It's not an insult.
He is being remembered for what. So now maybe this isn't this person. Maybe this isn't this person.
Yeah.
But for me,
right,
and for several people I've talked to, they would absolutely, at least according to what I've had conversations I've had with them, they would absolutely love to be remembered for what they do.
Yeah, their work.
Their work.
Yo, you're talking to one of them.
Right. What is a legacy? What is a legacy? Like,
because legacy includes how people remember you.
It's not about
even
you.
From a family standpoint, but also a professional standpoint.
Absolutely. It's not about you. You don't get to see, like, the whole thing about giving the people their flowers while they're here. The reason why this is a thing, it's not necessarily because, mind you, people are trash, but it's not necessarily because people are trash. It's because, again, another quote from that very popular play, a legacy is basically planting flowers in a garden that you'll never get to see.
Exactly.
It's what happens after. It's the people looking at what you've done when you can no longer do.
Yeah, because everybody feels like they need to summarize somebody's life.
Yes.
And in certain cases, you got certain people that were absolute jerk-offs, monsters, and they are they're not going to be remembered for the time they cook soup for their dear old nana,
right?
For their meemaw.
No,
they're going to be remembered for slaughtering 6 million people.
Facts.
And you should be remembered for that.
Facts.
Right? So when
it was the greatest thing that you contributed to the world,
and it was horrible. Yeah. So you're going to be remembered as a monster, right? So
okay, hold up. I realize how bad that sounds. Let me explain. I'm using the word "great" as in magnitude, not
yeah. We're not. Like it was the dopest thing ever. No.
It was the most impactful thing
that people will remember you for, and they should.
Yeah.
Well, when people usually pass, like when my brother passed a few months ago, the stuff that people were saying at the funeral, right? These were people summarizing his life, the way they saw it, and how he made them feel, and how they interpret his meaning to them, right?
Yo, grieving is an absolute selfish
Absolutely.
That is what it is. You cannot do anything for this person who is no longer here.
Right.
So this is like one of the most acceptable times to be selfish.
Right. And again, 2020 has been a bastard of a year, right?
Goodness.
And a lot of us then lost a lot of folks this year. So you're gonna have to be a little more empathetic to the fact that people are losing things and people. You know what I'm saying? And they're gonna feel a way. The general feeling I'm seeing is this on top of everything else.
Yeah.
That's the general feeling I'm seeing.
Yeah.
People. Especially in our community, right?
Yeah. Absolutely.
And I don't think that's anything to be ridiculed. I don't think that that's anything to be looked down upon. Like, it's not. It's the reality of the situation is he made a lot of people feel a certain type of way about being who they are after a long time of people making them feel a negative way about who they
Absolutely.
are. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
He was part of
for
that.
him to be in Gods of Egypt and Black Panther.
Right.
Just that, that perfectly explains.
Yeah.
Perfectly explains what you just said.
Yeah. Napalm said he just found out he lost his uncle 2 days ago. Condolences, bro.
Condolences, bro.
This is what
that's the type of stuff we're talking about. That's exactly what we're talking about.
You know,
it's crazy.
It's crazy. Like I said, people, I think sometimes, you know what usually I think is a problem too, is that people tend to have myopic viewpoints.
Yeah.
And they don't have a top-down broad view. So they go off of there. And like you said earlier, it's not that you're wrong, it's not that what you said was technically wrong, because technically is usually the best type of right. You're right. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
It's not it. It's that it is like narrow.
Yeah.
It is a narrow focus.
You have blinders on.
Right. It's a narrow focus. You're not even taking in everything else that comes around and how humans deal with loss.
You're
not factoring it in.
And nuance.
Yeah.
Are probably the most two important things that we, as far as understanding is concerned.
Facts.
You cannot leave out context and nuance. And it's like, that.
And if that part of
I've seen some takes in my life.
Yeah.
That one.
It's I mean, not to say this of the person, but it's the type of thing that's borderline sociopathic, where you can't feel
right
what they over there. You apparently are cut off from that part of why people are saying and feeling the way they're feeling right now. But
it's funny how narratives works, because I've never seen this person make the argument that I'm about to say.
Right.
And they didn't. Like I said, I've never seen it. But it's crazy, because you have arguments like this, like, oh, he was a person. But then you have arguments like, y'all ain't know that, man.
Yeah. Also, you so focused on the fact that he was a person as if you knew him as a person.
Right.
You did not either.
No.
You didn't either.
Never seen him a day in my life.
So why is that the focus of your arrows?
Right.
And like, why is that the focus? You didn't know him as a person either. So we're feeling a certain thing because we lost somebody that, for whatever compartmentalized part of the power plate that he occupied in your life, is gone.
Yeah, you can be a part of my life without me being a part of yours.
Yeah, absolutely.
It just is what it is.
Yeah, Mike. It's a lot of loss this year, and people see that, and it's like they feel away. You know what I mean? I feel away,
bruh.
And if you'd have talked to fans of mine 5 years ago, they'd have told you I was the personification of death.
Right.
And I feel away. You know what I'm saying? Like,
facts. Like, I did not sleep well last night.
No. And guess who woke me up this morning?
T'Challa.
In the bed yelling. It's 6 o'clock, nigga. The sun's coming up.
Oh, God.
Get your dumb ass up.
Why are you still laying down, Uman? Uman!
I heard this.
Arise.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, man. So I understand everybody who feels the way that they feel. And then, like I said, it's people.
Yeah.
This is the way when I first saw that particular comment, my initial thought was, I don't like it, but I don't have
a rebuttal right now.
Articulate.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But then I think back to all of the people on my timeline. that were talking about RIP.
Right.
These are people that I have not of course not all of them, because you curate your own timeline in a way. But a good portion of these people are people I've never seen even mention Black Panther or never seen talk about anything comic book related. But that proves to you how big his impact was.
Facts.
Because up and down my entire timeline since the time that I found out, and scrolling my timeline, every time I've gone back to my timeline to scroll, I've seen something about him.
Right.
So yeah, man, it's a whole thing. The whole replacing T'Challa thing.
No,
I saw a topic about that in one of the groups, in that same group, and most people were saying they didn't want it to happen. Some people were saying it has to, and I'm like, I understand the point that you are trying to make. I get what you're doing. You're trying to be practical and look at this from a business standpoint. However, as I had been coming to realize while doing the Let's Discuss Disney Plus podcast, which is actually on hiatus for a little while, ladies and gentlemen, just in case any of you listen to that podcast as well. It's on hiatus for a little while.
Right.
But having to pay so much more attention to Disney outside of just the MCU.
Yeah.
I've realized that they have really been making strides trying to do this inclusion and diversity thing, and everything they've done has not been a home run.
Right.
You know, they've had some missteps, but they have been trying. They have been actively making an effort. So with that being said, I understand the business behind wanting to continue to have the T'Challa character around, but we have to realize that conventional business practices doesn't necessarily apply to a juggernaut like Disney.
No,
Disney can do whatever the hell they want, and it's going to work in some way, shape, or form.
Right.
So they can absolutely slide Shuri into that mantle. You can have you alluded
it's comic book accurate.
Yeah, you alluded to. You can have a situation where it can be whoever did the stunt work.
Yeah,
for
he puts the mask
in
on,
the suit.
There's
training Shuri. Something happens.
Maybe not even in training. Maybe they showed that she trained with him, but
yeah.
There's a threat that happens.
Right.
He goes to face the threat. He gets killed, and she assumes the role. And that, because I really don't. I don't want to see somebody else take.
No. And here's the thing. It was talked of the only situation I could think of, as far as inside of my bubble, that is close to this is when Paul Walker died.
Yeah. It was a lot of people. A lot of people.
They had another movie to put out.
Yeah, I don't even think they started filming.
They had filmed some of it,
right?
But they were early in filming, so they had some scenes with him,
right?
And what they ended up doing now, I don't expect Disney to do this, but what they ended up doing was use his brothers and use CGI, to give the character a proper send off. Because again, just like Black Panther, there are people who fell in love with this character,
right?
And clearly his family was behind it because they participated. So this is the type of stuff I'm talking about. Like that's the closest reference I have, because interestingly enough, I don't know if you want to say knock on wood or whatever the case you want to do. This doesn't happen that often where somebody is supposed to do something big and they ended up passing before they get a chance to, let it meet its natural conclusion. It doesn't happen that often.
Right.
Surprisingly, like I was telling you, with this whole concept of the MCU, that was my number one worry, that this would happen. But I was not talking about Chadwick
him.
Boseman.
No,
I was thinking Michael Douglas, and Jack, the older people that are under these contracts.
Right.
That's what I was thinking about.
Right.
But
well, even like Sam, like
right, it's like, and like I said, somehow it doesn't happen that often. But when it does, it's impactful.
It's jarring. It's jarring.
It's very yes, that is the perfect word. It is jarring. So yeah, I think the best thing to do is just slide it over to Shuri, because they were hinting at that anyway.
Right.
And again, it is in the comic books.
Right.
So you have a frame of reference.
Let me read some of these comments. He said, Napalm says, I know Black Panther better be on Marvel's Avengers game at this point. Oh no, he is. They data mine the beta. He's on there.
Word.
He'll be on there at some point. Hendrick says Shuri for Black Panther, of course.
Yep.
Marissa says, not only that, but he was the lead and a game changer on numerous fronts in a very historic time for the culture. Naysayers can have a permanent seat if they think he wasn't honored by that.
Facts.
It was so important to him. He pushed through the pain to celebrate and promote it. This is an absolute fact.
We're talking about cancer.
Right. Like, come on, dog. Hendrick again agrees. Do not recast T'Challa.
Right.
Gregory, Nick Fury used to be a white guy. Yeah, he did. However, the version of Nick Fury that Sam Jack is playing
based off of the
ultimate Nick Fury,
who is black,
right? Who never was white.
Yeah.
It's kind of tricky. Napalm says, however they do it, it's going to be a hell of a tribute.
Oh, without question.
Yeah.
Listen, when you look at how they handled Iron Man dying,
oh man,
I'm fairly certain that they will take care of
Robert Downey Jr. didn't really die.
Right. So I'm fairly certain that they will make a way to honor Chadwick. I'm fairly certain.
Right.
Especially if we want to be let's be cheap. If we're just talking about from a business standpoint, the money that he helped bring into the company, that's $1 billion franchise.
Yeah, dude, they gotta get my man.
Yeah,
they gotta get a send off.
Let's say they didn't care, but just the money.
Facts.
Now on top of that, there's nothing about Kevin Feige that makes me believe he don't care.
Yeah, I don't believe that either.
Yeah,
I don't believe
so.
that either.
I'm fairly certain it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
I see what you're saying, Greg. Greg's saying he was referring to Marvel's drive to keep characters going in any form.
Facts.
They can't do that with Black Panther, but seeing someone else in the suit wouldn't be out of place.
Absolutely.
No, it wouldn't. Like as far as I think it would be at this point a marketing. I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it because I don't want to see it. It's almost like it feels like you're paving over. Chadwick,
this isn't a situation where, because somebody in the group that was against that was for the idea of replacing T'Challa was saying something to the effect of they did it with this superhero and that superhero, this, but the difference is that wasn't a rapid thing. The quickest turnaround was Brandon Routh to my man, the most recent.
I can never remember this dude's name.
Henry
Cavill.
Yeah,
right.
Henry Cavill. So that was the quickest turnaround.
Right.
No, I'm sorry, but two. The two quickest turnarounds were Brandon Routh to Henry Cavill and Andrew Garfield to Tom Holland.
Facts. And in those cases, none of those other previous actors died.
And they weren't iconic for the role.
Right. If they did, they didn't die in the role. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
He literally was still Black Panther.
He hadn't even though because of the impact of the movie, he solidified himself as the character. But as far as time is concerned,
right,
he didn't really solidify himself as the character to the point where it's time to move on to a new one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah.
I'm not
I don't know.
jacking it.
Me personally.
Now this isn't Beyonce's Storm. Like if it happens, I'll still watch.
Yeah, of course.
But
I'm gonna support the movie.
I'm not for it.
I like this idea. Greg says, I would hope they use the vacuum left to introduce another black superhero like Blue Marvel.
That would be interesting.
Listen, if they
That would be interesting.
yo, I've been wanting them to do Blue Marvel since I first. They do Blue Marvel, man. Look,
funny.
Look.
I mean, it's interesting. I don't know.
But again, in the comic books, for the record, Shuri does become the Black Panther. She didn't become it because T'Challa died, but she does take the mantle. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like there's precedent in the source material. Yeah. And since MCU is not a one-to-one with the 616 Prime Universe of Marvel, we have over these 10, 11 years, people have learned to accept, well, most people have learned to
I'm about to say a good portion.
A good portion have learned to accept that they're not going to get the exact story that they got in the comic books. There's a precedent for just letting her carry on as Black Panther.
Facts. Like, and then even if there wasn't precedent, like I alluded to earlier, Disney is on a train of inclusion and diversity. It is not beyond the realm of possibility, even if there was not precedent, that Shuri would have become a Black Panther at some point.
Right. We've heard scuttlebutt about that anyway.
Yeah.
You know, about her taking the mantle at some point.
So. Yes, absolutely. Whether it be like it was kind of alluded to in the movie.
Yeah.
After he went missing, it's like, okay, who's going to take the herb? Because somebody got to.
Who indeed? You know what's interesting about that? When you think about it, just as a geek, you take A-Force, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So Shuri becomes Black Panther.
Mm-hmm.
She-Hulk is on the way.
Mm-hmm.
You got Captain Marvel, of course, already a woman, and then Spectrum, Photon is on the way.
Mm-hmm.
They all become that. How is that not A-Force?
Powerhouse. Listen,
how's that not A-Force?
Talk about powerhouse.
Yeah, that's A-Force all day, all day, all day, listen, all day.
I ain't gonna hold you.
All day.
That would be amazing. What? Jennifer, Shuri, Monica. What?
I would put Okoye in there too to round off.
Absolutely.
Because even though she's probably just under a super soldier, she's still in the same. I will put her in the same league as a Widow.
Don't do it. Don't do it. Nope. No, you won't.
Absolutely.
No, you won't. Black Widow is not in that league. Hawkeye, sure. I get Hawkeye. Black Widow is not in that league. Black Widow is Black Widow is a super soldier.
Listen.
We've had this conversation.
Listen,
Black Widow is a super soldier.
And we ended on the same impasse.
No, we did not. I proved it beyond a shadow of a doubt that Black
you are the asses.
Black Widow is a superhero. I don't care what you say.
Oh,
no.
We agree. Hold on. Stop right
nigga.
there. We agree. Right there. Stop right there. Right there.
Actual superhero. Actual superpowers, the whole boot.
No, listen.
I don't care what you say, sir.
Look, man.
There's there's comic precedent.
This guy is such trash.
Listen.
Is such trash.
In times like this, you have to find the silver linings and things like this.
Hell yeah.
You know what I just realized?
What's that?
We haven't done a comic-based episode.
Nope. And I thought about that.
Months.
I thought about that. But that's because shit is crazy.
The real life bullshit going
shit
on.
Is crazy. Like right now, we're living in a fucked up version of a comic book. Right? So we damn near living Marvel zombies now. So I'm like, like
1000%. Like
it's so funny too because when I think about it's a lot of layers when I think about what Chadwick represented for me. Like early on in Multi-Worlds development, we did a lot of content around Black Panther,
Mm-hmm.
The movie, the actors, the
Yep.
actresses. We did a lot of content around that early on. So when I think of him, it reminds me of that early time when we were still
Nice.
kind of like cutting our teeth, with this shit, with the collaborative shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's layers to this. There's layers to it.
Without question. Like I said, this you take for granted certain things, right?
Mm-hmm.
I will fully admit that Chadwick is one of those things for me because I knew he wasn't old. Yeah, I knew he wasn't old. So it's like, yeah, Chadwick's going to be here and he's going to knock more shit out the park. And
Yeah.
it is what it is. Like, just taking it back, like thinking about when I found out that Chadwick was going to be the Black Panther,
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, all right, because like we talk about, I'm a filmy,
Yeah.
I'm a filmy,
Yeah.
So, like I said, I found out about Chadwick in 2008. I saw his performance on that show, loved it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, oh, he's dope. I can absolutely. Then I thought about it, like, oh wait, he's done like other iconic Black shit. I would absolutely love to see him work with Ryan Coogler.
Facts.
Who does iconic Black shit. So
Facts.
like, I was absolutely stoked to find out that this is what we were going to be getting.
Right.
Oh.
Right. Yeah, it was never a point when I first heard he was announced as going to be playing Black Panther. There was never a point where I thought that was a bad idea. Like I saw other people who had other picks, and that's fine. But I was like, nice. And I remember at the time thinking,
I hate the fact that Michael
Chadwick.
Jai White keeps getting thrown around for every single Black superhero.
No, listen. He already was the Black. He was Spawn. That's enough for him right now.
Absolutely.
Right?
The man can't act.
He can't. He is a very good physical actor, meaning when you put him in these roles where you got to kick somebody in the ass, he's going to kick you in the ass. It's going to look convincing.
Destroy it.
Yeah, it's going to look convincing.
Absolutely.
But nah, man, like I feel like there was never, like I said, there was never a time when I first heard the announcement he would be that I felt like, no, I'm good. Like people say, but such and such could be, but such and such could be. Like, yeah, I'm good with Chadwick.
Like maybe, but this is probably gonna work.
Yeah, that's how I felt from day one. And then during Civil War, the movie Civil War, I was convinced. I was in the movie. Yep. I was like, yep. That's what I thought. That's what I thought. Mm-hmm.
Hey, I'm Clint. I don't care.
I don't. Look,
what?
Man, look.
I don't know if ever before 3 words in a movie did more for me.
What do you think you could do to protect your friend from me?
Like what?
Oh man,
what is going on? No, man. Listen, he absolutely destroyed pretty much everything he touched. Knocked it out the park.
Yo, the swag was on a million. Yo, when he had the Dora Milaje behind him, he walked. The swag is on a million. What? Come on, man.
Facts. Yo, another thing. Not just being able to do these roles while you have cancer.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
The shape that he got himself into.
To be able to do it. Yeah. Yeah. It's a fact.
Man.
It's a fact. Look, knock on wood, I don't have any of that. And I'm having a devil of a time.
Right.
So this dude, come on,
man. Actually, going directly against what dude said in the group about Black Panther killing. Shut the fuck up.
But that was the dumbest shit.
And against what he said,
shit I ever heard.
It actually might have helped him because being in the shape that he was in,
to get in shape
might have helped him survive a little bit
longer. Yeah, that's entirely possible. We're no doctors here on the Black Culture Geek Show.
Not at all.
I would imagine that staying in peak condition would definitely help your immune system fight longer.
Right.
So yeah, like contrary to what colossal asshole was saying.
Right.
Captain Anal, regardless of what he was saying, I think that shit probably helped. Staying in shape for that role. He got in phenomenal shape.
Yeah. Makes sense to me, man. I don't know.
Let me yo.
Your audio. Yeah, it's been a while. It was like it loved us for a while, but now it was like, nah, y'all niggas asking for too much. You expect to actually be able to record and have people hear you? What is wrong with you, Landon? How dare you? The audacity,
Look,
the
man.
nerve, the unmitigated gall
really?
of you.
That what?
My bad.
What it is? That what it is?
I'm sorry.
I'm just saying, yo. That knowing that nod, like that. Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Facts.
Like I see that's like burned and scorched into my memory, and now that he passed, that's what I see. That
word.
That like, man,
absolutely. And then another thing, thinking about the whole hindsight thing, when people were making a big deal of him being tired of doing the salute.
Yeah, made it.
That might have just been him not feeling well.
That could, exactly. Again, certain things look different now.
Yeah,
that we know this. Like I was telling my wife, there was this picture of him on the red carpet at one point, and people were, of course, around him, cheering, trying to touch him, shake his hand, all sorts of stuff. He had this far away look in his eyes.
Yeah.
Now, at the time, I saw people take that picture and go, like, try to make something about just being over this whole Black Panther thing. But now having the insight of what he was going through, you don't know what was going through that man's mind at that time. Because this ain't the type of thing that you have and then forget sometimes.
No.
This is always running in a playback loop in your mind that I have a terminal disease. I have a terminal disease. That,
bruh.
What was
I couldn't
going through
imagine.
his mind?
No.
He could have been just soaking all of this in.
Yeah.
Like it's.
It could have been a situation of like, look where I've gotten.
Right.
But we'll never know. And here's the thing about that. Normally, I want to know everything. Normally, I want to know everything.
I think I'm gonna leave this one up to my imagination.
Yeah, this one. No,
you're on some old man Cap stuff. No, I don't think I will.
I don't think I will.
I don't think I will.
Yeah, it's just not. It lacks importance now in context of what's going on or what has happened, should I say?
But like, all that shit hit different.
Absolutely,
all of it hit different.
Absolutely. Looking back on any of it, it's like, oh, huh. I dare not. Like, I wasn't one of the ones that jumped on any of those negative bandwagons. But especially now, I dare not.
I ain't gonna be able to do it.
No,
I ain't gonna be able to do it. I saw something. Somebody posted in the Reaper Life comic book group. Is a picture of Stan Lee with his arm around Chadwick, and the caption was like, "You gonna love it here. You gonna love it here."
Oh,
kid.
People work fast.
People work real fast.
People work fast.
Let me show you. Let me show you around, kid.
Yeah, that's dope.
Yeah, now, those of you know me know I don't believe in any of that heaven stuff.
Right.
I'm not gonna hold you.
That shit was, a little bit of awesome. It was
awesome to see them two together. Right. It was a little awesome. You know
man. It's it's a thing. It's a
real thing, yo. It's a real thing.
This happened, and I understand. You know what I haven't seen a lot of?
What's that?
I haven't actually seen a lot of the whole y'all don't know this man.
Yeah, I haven't seen a
I
lot
have
of that
not
either.
seen
I
a lot
haven't.
of it.
But to be fair, it just happened, and I
Yeah,
haven't
yeah.
really been cruising social
That's true.
media
That's
like
true.
I usually, So, but I am at least for the time being. It is good to not see that,
Right.
At least for the time being, it's good to not see that shit. But because humans are absolute garbage,
Plague.
like a absolute
We are
plague.
the pandemic.
Listen. This is the pandemic right here going on, people. I would not be surprised if at some point I saw some chucklehead do that shit. I would not be surprised at all.
Oh, did you see the Marvel Studios?
They posted something.
Our hearts are broken.
I haven't even
Our
checked.
hearts are broken and our thoughts are with Chadwick Boseman's family. Your legacy will live on forever. Rest in peace. Also, DC Comics posted something to the effect of shout out to a superhero that transcends universes. Rest in power.
Right.
But you expect the classiness from these situations.
I mean, yeah, and again, my man has helped make them a lot of money.
Bruh.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm looking at it now. That shit is sad.
Absolutely, yeah.
It's sad. And this type of shit. What did I say? Did I say this before we started the show or during the show? I can't remember. But yo, when we lost really Prince, I told you, when we lost Prince, it's just been like a downward spiral for me. Since I'm not gonna bullshit you, yo. Not gonna bullshit you. Like bam, 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 bam. And of course, like we mentioned earlier, it's 2020. People have lost a lot, lost jobs, lost family members, lost friends. This is this on top of everything else. So, fucking sucks. Fucking sucks. But it would have been dope to see the next Black Panther movie and see Chadwick in it. And I really wish that they had started filming, but I don't even think they started filming yet.
No, they have not started. They had not started filming.
They had not even started filming, so
because it wasn't due to release until at least 2022. And they don't film that earlier ahead because of spoilers and stuff like that.
Facts.
So a couple comments.
Yeah, you gotta hit them.
So many Black men, women, and children got to witness Chadwick as a superhero, and it truly meant so much. I know it was just a movie, but low-key, I feel like we lost a superhero.
Whoa, Napalm's comment. Yo, the pictures of children using action figures giving Black Panther memorial services have been heartbreaking. I haven't even seen those yet.
Man. And of course, he's trending. Here's I think this is the statement from the family. Yes, it is with immeasurable grief that we confirm the passing of Chadwick Boseman. Chadwick was diagnosed with stage 3 colon cancer in 2016 and battled with it these last 4 years as it progressed to stage 4. A true fighter, Chadwick persevered through it all, and brought you many of the films you have come to love so much, from Marshall to The Five Bloods, August Wilson's Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. I want to see that. And several more. All were filmed during and between countless surgeries and chemotherapy. It was the honor of his career. The honor of his career.
No, you gotta say that again.
It was the honor of his career to bring King T'Challa to life in Black Panther. He died in his home with his wife and family by his side. The family thanks you for your love and prayers and asks that you continue to respect their privacy during this difficult time. Yeah.
So miss me.
Well,
With thinking that it was some sort of an insult or diminishing of who he is as miss me all the way with that.
So
bullshit.
we got a statement from Marvel, right? Black
Mm-hmm.
Panther. Okay. Major League Baseball. We are devastated by the tragic loss of Chadwick Boseman. His transcendent performance in 42 will stand the test of time and serve as a powerful vehicle to tell Jackie's story to audiences for generations to come.
Facts. Facts.
I mean,
Facts.
It just is what it is. Let me see. Let me try to see. Jamil Hill. Chadwick was diagnosed with colon cancer 4 years ago. Per reports, during that time, he gave a Civil War, Marshall, Black Panther, Infinity War, Endgame, 21 Bridges, and The Five Bloods. Lord only knows what he was going through on a daily basis. Alyssa Milano, Tinashe, Kim Fields. Rest, such gifts wrapped in dedication to our craft. May every man you portrayed celebrate your spirit as I do, as we all do. May your family be covered in your love. Ryan Reynolds, Bernice King, Ava DuVernay, all the people. Viola, Chadwick, no words to express my devastation of losing you. Your talent, your spirit, your heart, your authenticity. It was an honor working beside you, getting to know you. Rest well, Prince. May flights of angels sing thee to thy heavenly rest. I love you. Martin Luther King III. Chadwick Boseman brought history to life on the silver screen, from Jackie Robinson to James Brown to Thurgood Marshall. As Black Panther, he was also a superhero to many. And despite his 4-year-long battle with cancer, he kept fighting and he kept inspiring. He will be missed.
Napalm just shared with me those pictures, and I sent them to your inbox.
I've seen a couple of those. I saw the first one. Ridiculous. Like, listen, this is what I mean when I say, and I haven't said this in a while. Let's bring this back. You're right, but you're so wrong.
So wrong.
I get the point that you're trying to make. He's more than Black Panther. He's a person. I get that. I can. I'm about to put these pictures on the screen.
Do that, please.
I was about to say, I wish I could. No, I absolutely can do that.
Thank you very much, Mr. Napalm.
Absolutely.
Appreciate
because
you.
Here's the thing. We are in a situation, just strictly speaking about Black Panther.
Right.
We are in a situation where we're talking about these little kids being able to see a Black superhero for the first time. Like,
right.
when we talk about a lot of other Black superheroes that have been portrayed in media, this is not a slight to any of them.
Nope.
But for instance, Blade was rated R.
Right.
So sure, it was a win for Black superheroes, but not necessarily for children, because they're not supposed to be watching this.
Facts.
Any of the TV shows that happen to have Black superheroes in them, great, but it's not the same scope as a movie.
Yeah,
an international movie.
And it's kind of meta because Black Panther is the first Black superhero in mainstream comic books.
Word.
1966. That's
right.
So it's meta. It's a lot of layers in that, man. It's a lot of layers.
Absolutely, man. Like I said, when I see, oh, okay, you are being
ass.
I wasn't gonna say that.
Oh.
But it's like, shut up. Like, you see certain things, and it's like, all right, I get you. Yeah, technically, you're right. Technically, you are correct. There. What you're saying tracks and it lands.
Right.
The issue is there are there are elements that you're obviously ignoring.
And I don't know if you're ignoring it to once again be perceived as a truth teller, or because there is something broken in you that cuts you off.
It might be
from
completely
seeing,
unintentional.
the other aspects of this.
It might be completely unintentional. I'm
Look at
not I'm not
Look at-
accusing anybody.
Mm-mm. Look at that.
Like I said, it might be completely unintentional, but
Look at
it's just
Look at that kid.
this little black boy.
You're gonna tell him. Napalm says in the comments, how can you argue with children about that? Yeah.
Facts.
Yeah.
Facts.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then we go to the other one. Let me see. 118. Okay, cool. Then we go to the other one. So it was more than black people.
Yeah.
It was more than black people. Minorities
Hey, Mike,
all over the place.
There's no shame in that, Mike. Ain't no shame in that.
Not at all. Not at all. Because it's like, what do we talk? The argument that he was more than Black Panther is a valid argument. That is facts.
It's just unnecessary.
It's just completely unnecessary.
Necessary argument.
In the moment. It's just not necessary. When you
nobody
see
thought
stuff
he
like
was
this,
only that.
right?
Like
when you see stuff like this, it's like none of the other stuff is important.
And this is the other thing about that. So to say he wasn't just Black Panther is to ignore all the things Black Panther is.
Facts. That's the point.
It's to make
that is the point.
With the pictures you're seeing on the screen, ladies and gentlemen, is part like the intrinsic way you have of understanding what that meant to these kids is also Black Panther.
Facts.
It's not just, oh, it's just a little cartoon. No, it has meaning for a lot of people.
100%.
And the fact that that was said by his very own family had the honor of becoming that for us.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Like I said, I'm not sure you're technically right, but I'm not jacking. I'm not jacking it. Like
I'm just not.
There's no
I
way.
think it's irrelevant. I think it's it shows a lack of empathy. It shows a lack of sensitivity to where we are at this present moment. It shows that it almost feels like you didn't take the temperature. Like
like read the room, my guy.
Read the room.
Read the room. That's it.
Read the room. This ain't the time for that.
Does it look like these people were joking?
Right.
Does it look like these people were playing around?
Right.
Does it? Now to be fair, well, I'm always gonna try to be fair. To be fair, that's not the end all be all if it looks like they're playing or not. Fine. But there's really no reason to assume that they are.
There's no reason to assume that people are trying to offend him or offend his friend. There's no reason to believe that. I have literally not seen, trust me when I tell you, the ones that would were doing it before he died.
Yeah.
Were disrespecting the shit before he died. So it's like Palm says, if you still feel like that after seeing these, something's broken with it.
Yeah.
Right. Something's broken. It's cutting you off from seeing the bigger picture of what this represents to a lot of people and across generations. Because I'm 51. These kids old enough to be my grandkids. And look, listen, it's having the same effect on them.
Technically, at the age that people may or may not have kids, they don't need to be your great grands.
Facts.
Technically,
facts.
So we're talking about 4 generations.
So I don't want to hear people. I don't want to hear it. Like I can't take it seriously. You know what I'm saying? And it does. How can I put this? You lose a lot in my eyes. Not enough for me to dislike you, but enough for me to like not really trust your judgment on certain things when it comes to dealing with human emotion, emotional intelligence. I don't trust your judgment on that because you seem a little off or disconnected. Now, here's the thing.
Yeah, that's possible.
Here's the thing. If you weren't into any of this stuff,
right,
I could see you being disconnected to a degree.
Absolutely.
Because I would also argue, especially if you're black, that you could see there's something else to find with all of this other than the comic book element. The achievement that the movie did.
Yeah.
That's at least something you can pull from.
Facts.
But if you have no connection to it whatsoever, I could see you being disconnected. But and like you said, we pretty much cultivate our social media experience.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the people on my timeline that I interact with on a regular basis are going to feel the same way about this, roughly, that I do. They're going to feel, you know, with different variances depending on how close they were with the character, the genre, the man himself, his work. You know,
it's sad.
It is.
It's really sad. And
the thing about it is, now I think we should, before we even close out, I think we should do a little speculation on the state of the MCU. Not that that this will end it, of course not, but they did have plans for the character,
right?
Going forward, that did encompass the entire MCU. Like now that Tony Stark is gone,
oh man,
the new tech, the new McGuffins that they would use to explain powers, abilities, tech, and all that. Wakanda was going to be a huge part of that. Now, Wakanda still exists, and they can actually still run that.
And you still got Shuri.
And you still got Shuri there to run that.
Because to be fair, the movies have not really
they didn't focus on his genius. On his genius. Yeah. On Black Panther's genius. That's true.
Yeah.
But you know, when they do transitions, and now that Thor, after he does this next movie, he's going to transition to more of a background player that shows up for big events, things like that. Cap is old man Cap now. He won't be in most of these things. Iron Man,
all the 6 except for Hulk,
right?
Because Hawkeye is going to be training
Kate Bishop. Right.
Yeah.
So when you're making a transition over to a brand new cast of people to fill shoes, having familiar people that you already built up in the previous transition, even they newbies, right? It helps the transition. He was definitely one of the ones. I would argue one of the main ones, considering how well his movie did. You know what I'm saying? Like,
thanks. Oh, without question.
You know what I'm saying? He's one of the main ones. And now that his face, that familiar, recognizable face and brand is not there. Going forward, do you
John
think
Krasinski.
There's who? What? What the fuck? He can't play Black Panther. That's not. We're not doing
he's
that.
not. He's not going to be playing Black Panther.
Oh, okay. We're not doing.
I think that's what happens. I think the Fantastic Four get hot tracked a little bit. And I think I wouldn't necessarily say the X-Men do. I wouldn't necessarily say that.
I'm gonna tell you this. I don't think they're gonna get fast tracked, but I do think if Feige, depending on the X-Men he chooses to bring to the MCU, if he brings a Forge,
listen,
Beast,
this is what I need. Independent of filling the void of necessarily of a Black Panther, of a T'Challa,
right?
But I need Gambit. I need Rogue.
Yeah.
I need Gambit and Rogue because I need Captain Marvel to be nerfed. That's why I need Rogue. I need Gambit because Gambit never. Actually, I saw this post sometime last week, and it asked if you had to worry about the team that you would focus on for as far as the X-Men are concerned, who would you pick? I think they said pick 4 or 5. I can't remember. I chose Gambit, Rogue, Bobby, Iceman for all of those that aren't really aware. Gambit, Rogue, Bobby. I think I said Nightcrawler.
Who's the leader on that team?
And Kate, not Kate, Freak.
Jubilee.
No, Jean's daughter.
Rachel.
What is her name? Rachel. Yes. And Rachel. The reason I picked those people, I didn't pick, it wasn't Nightcrawler. It was Rogue, Gambit, Rachel, Rogue, Gambit, Rachel, and Rogue, Gambit, Rachel,
Iceman.
and Iceman. Rogue, Gambit, Rachel, Iceman. Yeah, it was 4. It was Rogue, Gambit, Rachel, and Iceman. The reason I picked the 4 of them is because they are all legitimate powerhouses that do not inherently have to be OP.
Right.
Bobby can't figure out how to use his powers to his full extent.
Right.
Gambit can't use his powers to his full extent because
Sinister.
Yeah. Rogue has the issue with dealing with touching people and all that. She has that. Rachel would absolutely be the most powerful, but I just kind of, the reason I picked Rachel is because
but the question would be, who would be the leader of that team?
Honestly, I hadn't thought about that. Let me think.
Because it's usually the way they usually do it. Charles Xavier is the man in the chair, literally and figuratively.
Yeah, literally and figuratively. That's funny. Yes. I mean, sometimes he shares that role with Beast, but yes.
And then there's the field leader.
Yeah, your Storm, your Cyclops, your in very few instances compared to the movies, Wolverine.
Right. Yeah. Even Alex.
Yes,
Scott's brother.
Yeah.
Even he can be a leader on the team.
I would say that out of the ones that I picked,
it's hard, man. With those guys, it's hard.
Yeah,
it's hard to put a leader there.
The reason I picked them is because again, they're the limits that they have on their powers, but also their interesting personalities, and it's not.
You know who I think could be a leader on that team because they actually ran with that with an Avengers team. Rogue.
Yeah, I was leaning towards Rogue.
Yeah, she's
Rogue seems probably the most sure of herself of that group. Bobby's at the absolute bottom of that particular trait.
And the thing with Gambit is not that he's not sure of himself, is that he's too sure of himself.
Right. Exactly. He's cocky as fuck.
And with good reason a lot of times.
Listen. Legitimately, if New Sun ever was saying to materialize,
I'm just saying. First, we charged the card. Like all right,
okay. But I would probably go with Rogue. I would probably go with Rogue because she. Like I said, she has that confidence. She
also has a power set that I feel is a great leader power. Like, I can literally take all of your powers in a pinch.
Yeah. If something happens,
I can.
Yes, absolutely. On top of that, like I said, and it also, given what I want her in the MCU for,
right?
One of the reasons that I want her in the MCU, it makes sense for her to be the leader too, because if you're going to have to go up against Miss Captain Marvel.
You're gonna have to break. Yeah, because
Yeah.
nobody right now.
You had to have
nobody-
some status.
Right now, nobody's.
Nah, there's no way. You
Maybe
had,
with
like-
the exception of Scarlet Witch from a distance.
Yes.
But the rest of them,
Listen to
no.
me clearly.
No.
That is one of the things I was really upset about this goddamn pandemic, that we did not get
Yeah.
WandaVision.
I know,
when
right?
we were supposed to get WandaVision.
I know, right?
Because
I know.
I was looking so forward to her being like, I'm me.
Look, she's a glass cannon to be sure.
Oh,
But listen,
but
I
you
have
can't
seen
reach
her. You listen. Thor has multiple ranged attacks,
Mhm.
and in one of the comic books from a couple of years ago, when the Red Skull took over his mind,
Yeah.
and sent him after Scarlet Witch, she not only managed to hold him off, she battlefield removed this big ass.
Right.
Like, nah, you got, and she literally admitted,
Yo,
there is no beating him in the physical back, but I
Nope.
can get him the fuck
Get him
up out
away.
of here.
yo,
Fuck up
battlefield
outta here.
removal is one of the most underrated
Yes, it
tactics
is.
ever.
Yes, it is. Yes,
Like,
yo, yes,
I
it
don't
is.
have to beat you.
No,
I do not have to beat you. You
Mm-mm.
just have to not be here.
nigga, that's how Ileana beat the Juggernaut.
Mm-hmm.
She removed him from
Yeah.
this dimension.
Mhm.
Period. And
Yeah.
then Snatch got the gem up out of him.
Right.
Get out of here.
Yeah, there's nothing you can do. No,
Get out of
we're-
here.
You're having a temper tantrum right now. I don't appreciate it. I know there's nothing I can do physically to stop you,
Facts.
but watch this.
Facts.
Yeah,
Facts.
man. I like, but even we don't even have to go to the comics. Thanos' whole rain fire thing didn't kill her. It didn't hurt her. It was just a distraction.
Yeah. And also mainly because I don't
He was
think-
about to die.
Yeah, he talked. They didn't. I think the way the shit was targeted, you gotta remember there was Doctor Strange and all of his wizards out there,
Mhm.
motherfucker, making these shields and shit.
Yep.
So again, a lot of us might tend to forget that is the only time that Thanos appeared scared
Yes.
in any part
At
of that
any part
movie.
of both movies.
after fighting Big Green Goliaths,
Mm-hmm.
a friggin' god,
Mm-hmm.
a tech god,
Mm-hmm.
and probably at the most honorable man
Yeah.
on the
Oh,
planet.
and
Like-
teams.
And teams. Yeah.
He engaged teams.
Yeah, he's a team buster. Well, Thanos is a team buster.
Well, yeah,
He's
clearly.
a team- but seeing what Scarlet Witch did
But
to him,
Scarlet, I don't even know who you
she's
are.
she's a team buster.
You will.
buster. Yeah. You will. She's a team buster. Yo, somebody somebody has got to make that gift for me of her going, you will, and then rising up like that. Because I use the you will a lot when
Facts.
people
That's
say
true.
that.
But a lot of the memes don't really do it justice.
Yeah,
I got you. Just remind me to do it.
I got you.
But yeah, so honestly, that's what I would do.
Okay.
I would fast track the Fantastic Four. Fantastic Four would be like, so there's the rumor. I don't know if this has been confirmed or not, because you know that sometimes they confirm shit, sometimes they don't.
Right.
That the old Avengers Tower was being turned into the Baxter Building.
Yeah, I heard that.
So my thing would be, by the time the next Spider-Man comes out, because it can't be completed filming yet.
No.
By the time the next Spider-Man comes out, we developed that. Like, he's not going to be in New York for the majority of the movie. I get that, but he has to come back at some point.
Yeah, of course.
Even if it's not long, like, he has to come back at some point.
Yeah.
So I would venture to you throw that in there, and maybe the next movie you introduce them. Because here's the funny thing about this: because of all the stuff with the pandemic, I forgot the slate, like the order.
Yeah.
So
definitely.
I don't even have that in my mind. I know Eternals is somewhere in there, so none of this would be in Eternals.
Black
because
Widow is what we're gonna get this year.
It wouldn't be. None of it would be in Black Widow.
No.
None of it would be in the Eternals. None of it would be in Shang-Chi.
It wouldn't be in Winter Soldier and
No.
Falcon, but
No,
it could
no,
be
no.
in. I put you like this: they are going to allude to mutations in WandaVision. It's
Oh yeah,
it's
my
inevitable.
my thought was you lose to mutations, whether it's no more mutants or mutants.
Right.
Um, And then my thing was the first time it could be even addressed was Doctor Strange in the universe, the Multiverse of Madness.
Yes.
So you address, I think that's where, like I said, I think that's where you, between WandaVision and Doctor Strange, you address the mutants, and Spider-Man addresses the Fantastic Four. You bring in the Fantastic Four. You have this group of mutants. For some reason, they're in conflict with the Avengers. Captain Marvel happens to be here for some reason. Rogue misunderstands what's going on. She grabs hold of her. That whole thing happens.
But what'll wind up happening is, instead of putting her in the coma, because they're not going to do that.
No. I don't need her
power in half.
Right. I just need her. I need her nerfed a little bit. Right. I don't need her depowered. I just need her nerfed. So you nerf her and you create another powerhouse.
Yeah, facts. I think what we're more likely to see is the Fantastic Four be connected with Sword.
Yeah, I can see that.
I think that's what we're more likely to see, and I don't think we're going to get a bona fide origin of their power story. We're not going to get that. No one wants that. I think we're going to get that the same way they did with Spider-Man and Civil War.
Yeah.
Where they're going to allude to an incident that took place.
It might be explained at some point.
It might not even be right. It might not even be in that original movie. We might.
I was about to say it could be a flashback in the next movie or something.
It could be a flashback, or it could be somebody referencing an issue they had up on the Sword flying space station,
like we're experiencing.
There was an accident. There was a
cosmic storm.
Yeah, we got to brace for the storms coming through. We had an accident with 4 of the scientists there, the astronauts, or whatever. It could be something like that.
Something that's subtle.
Yeah,
would actually be perfect,
because we saw the subtle. We know that the next Black Panther does include Namor, and I could actually see them.
The earthquakes underwater.
My writing should be impeccable when it comes to these comic book stories, because I just saw he has a Namor.
Yeah,
the Atlanteans. That's how T'Challa buys the farm and on there, and it gets passed on, and they still got. And this will also make Namor. He will be villain
badass.
Yeah, he's bad. He automatically gets
immediately established.
Yeah, he gets established credits. He took out the Black Panther, and here comes Shuri.
My thing about that, though, I have a question. Do you think that he can move to anti-hero if his debut is him killing?
Yes, because the death need not be exactly by his hands.
Okay,
it could be as a result of the conflict. Then an accident takes place, and he winds up dying.
Got it.
Absolutely,
because it's all in how he handles it. If he's super dick about it, which he is a dick.
He's a dick.
But he doesn't have to be callous about it.
And also, look, Wakanda, they don't play that shit. So I could literally see them,
and they have his respect.
Yeah. So I think at that point, the anger would cause Wakanda to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, it could be a case of them both doing the most. You know what I mean? Where it kind of cancels out what Namor did to a degree, because Wakanda, they overcorrected. You know what I'm saying? They overcorrected for what they did. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I'm
because
fairly certain they wouldn't have that.
You got to think about why they would overcorrect too. Because in the history, at least in the MCU, since they haven't introduced Doctor Doom yet, in history, they've never been conquered. They've never been. So then for some shit like that to happen, they get their mad on. They get their mad on. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh no, that's it. We bloodthirsty. We bloodlusted now. Like,
I mean, it would be interesting also. Mind you, I don't want a goody two shoes Namor. That's not what I want.
No.
But it would be interesting, because I'm just thinking about MCU. I'm throwing comic out the window for right now.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking about MCU and thinking about their last king was murdered at the hands of the White Wolf.
Facts.
But they took the White Wolf in. So the reason behind that is because it wasn't all his fault. He
Right.
was under. There was an outside circumstance that forced him to do that.
And also, we got to understand that's when T'Challa was alive, and T'Challa had a different way of doing things than his father did.
Right.
He was a lot more conciliatory than his father was.
Absolutely.
So he made the decision, because if I got a feeling that was up to Okoye, they'd have killed him.
If that was up to Daniel Kaluuya's character,
they'd have killed him. I'm gonna keep it 100. If that was up to his mama, he would not. I don't think he'd have made it. Like I don't think he'd have made it.
Thanks. But I wonder if somebody else could be responsible for Namor getting into whatever conflict led to T'Challa dying.
Just as me, and maybe I don't like the idea of too many cooks.
Right, that's the thing. I don't want to throw too many things in there,
because if this was the comic books,
I was going to say
I would have made it Doom.
Something.
Yes, if it was comic books, I'd have said Doom. I'd have said Doom. Doom was the only. He's the first to crack Wakanda.
Yeah,
cracked Wakanda and got up in there. You know what I'm saying? So but again, I still have flashbacks from Spider-Man 3.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Like you got Namor and Doom, and then obviously somebody has to come in to calm shit down, so that you're adding more people.
And unless unless you only use Doom in a limited fashion, meaning, I don't think anybody's gonna stand for that. I don't think anybody's gonna stand for Doom not getting his hands a little. I don't think people will stand for that.
I mean, it could be done if it's done well. With a lot of suspense.
Yeah, if it's done with suspense and subterfuge, where the reveal is at the end that it was actually Doom that was involved with the whole thing.
That could work.
Yeah,
that could work. But like I said, I'm excited about my picks for my X-Men team, because
I don't think they're gonna pick them though.
No, absolutely not. But another
we're going to get a Gambit though. We're going to get Gambit.
I would hope so. Another reason that I picked Rachel was because I want to see I want to see Phoenix, but I don't want to see
OP.
Yeah, I mean, not even just OP. I don't.
Some versions
to try to do that story over.
I know what you're saying, but some versions of Rachel, she does inherit.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, some versions of it she does. So. It depends. I don't really want to see that story again,
but I don't want to see that story. I don't want to see that story.
I feel you.
We've been through that twice, and you screwed it up twice.
That tracks. However, our folks ain't put their hands on it yet.
No, facts, and that's what I'm saying. So that's why I said, I still want. I want it to be a reason to be able to get to Phoenix, right?
Yeah, I feel you.
But I don't want it to be Jean. Jean can exist.
And there are other mutants that have acquired the Phoenix Force. I forget the kid's name, but there's one kid in particular.
Well, Avengers versus that's the other thing that can lead to Avengers versus X-Men. Rogue attacking Captain Marvel can lead to Avengers versus X-Men.
Facts. Absolutely.
So I don't
know.
I don't know. I have pipe dreams because I know what they're capable of.
But you don't know what their plans are. So
So I just want everything. Throw everything at the wall. You can do it. I'm sure you got the money. You have the technology.
They can do it.
You can do it.
They can do it.
They're probably not, but they can.
That's the whole.
They can. They could. We don't. I mean, I would love to see Wolverine again. I don't need to see Wolverine so soon.
I don't think anybody is really don't get me wrong. I am so curious. What they're gonna do with that? I'm not gonna lie, but at the same time, I don't want them to rush it. I think the fact that the impact of Endgame was the way it was, is because they didn't rush it. Now, to be sure, these next phases are gonna go by faster because
without question,
they have another outlet for which to tell the story, besides movies,
and they better know what they're doing.
Yeah, exactly. They better. So it's not gonna be. You're not gonna see another 11-year group of phases. You're not gonna see that. But what we are going to see is a broader, I believe, storytelling. Just broader storytelling. We're going to see broader storytelling. I just wish Chadwick was part of that.
Man.
I just wish he was part of that. But Anyway, I think we have kind of talked about this. This is what I want to do.
Mm-hmm.
The Marvel Avengers game
Mm-hmm.
comes out technically on the 4th, but if someone gets the deluxe version, it's the 1st for them.
Right.
I don't know when they're going to give us T'Challa. I just know that they are because it was data mined. They found the files and all of that in there.
Yeah.
But I would love to, and this is, mind you, this is we're cross programming at this point.
Facts.
I would love for us to just have a, even if we do it on Addie's game room channel, where we're playing that, because there's a lot of content in that game and we're going through it as a team,
right?
Playing that. It'd be dope if Panther was on there.
Facts.
Marissa says he was more than Black Panther to his family, to his friends, to his acquaintances, but to the public at large who did not know him personally, he will always be Jackie, Thurgood, and T'Challa.
Facts.
Right.
It's just what it is.
Right. That's just what it is. I think that's actually a great way to sum up all of this too.
Absolutely.
We unless you got something else.
No.
We want to thank all of you for taking the time out to watch the live stream, especially
Absolutely.
a lot of the new people that were here. We really appreciate your input.
Yes.
And of course, our regulars, we definitely appreciate your input.
Facts.
This is a sad time right now for a lot of us. But we hope just being able to talk about it in this way and give that man his flowers.
Yeah, especially like I said, some people aren't aware of the other things that Chadwick did.
Exactly.
So hopefully this was a little informative for some of you.
Yeah, I'm hoping it helped with the healing process of it. Like I said, this hit me like a sledgehammer the other day. You know what I'm saying? And there's no way in the world we could do a show called Black Culture Geekz.
It wasn't happening.
And not have an episode about Black.
I didn't share this with you guys, but that was the natural progression of the conversation when he told me what happened.
Right.
He said that. I went to do the Googles to see, because
verify.
You hope it's wrong.
Yeah, I did.
You hope it's wrong.
I hope it was wrong.
And I came back. I'm like, yo, we got to do an appreciation.
We got to. And I feel like we did it. I feel like we respected the stuff that we loved about Chadwick.
Absolutely.
And a lot of people felt the same way. We hope that helps with the healing process of this. We want to send out condolences to his family.
Yep.
And his friends, the people that was in his life.
Yeah.
The last thing I'm gonna say on that too is, for the little entitled prick I saw on Instagram trying to give Lupita a hard way to go because she didn't comment on anything yet. Mind your fucking business.
Pretty much.
She knew him personally.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
No idea what she's going through right now.
Right. Ball made a good point in the comments. Life is short. Hug a buddy. Absolutely.
Facts.
Absolutely.
Facts.
So for my man SPJ, I am Tombstone the Dead Man, and for the greater multi-world entertainment family, we are out.
Peace.